So a lot of brand owners actually blame their market sophistication or how saturated their market is on their lack of success. They really just blame their market. Like the market's getting too competitive, it's very hard these days to get sales and all that stuff, or, the economic situation of the world isn't where it needs to be. And they basically blame everything but their own marketing and their own positioning to why their brand isn't scaling. I'm going to be honest, I actually love saturated niches. I love saturated markets because it's a lot easier to actually scale in them. And in this video, I'm actually going to give you that sort of mindset shift as well. This is not like a mindset video. I'm actually going to show you how you can actually technically move some atoms, on your keyboard and everything to actually make this work. But honestly, it is sort of a mindset thing at the same time. So in this video, I'm going to explain how we actually scale in saturated markets, why we might be a little bit crazy, but we actually love saturated markets, me and my business partner. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, my name's Gunnar. I make scaling to 8 figures easy for health and wellness e-commerce brands. Health and wellness is one of those markets where people just they just absolutely love blaming a saturated market or a competitive market on why they can't scale. Trust me, it's not that hard. I'm going to show you why we actually love saturated markets. And yeah, let's just get into the video. So most people use saturated market as an excuse. They say my niche or my market is too saturated, or it's too competitive, or there's so much people in it. But a niche can only be saturated if everyone's problem in that niche has already been solved. And if everyone's problem was actually solved, there would be no market left. There would be no businesses in it. There would be no demand in it either. And most of the time, the niche is not actually saturated. If in your market right now, everyone's problem has been solved, then okay, you're in a saturated market. But that's probably not the case, okay? What is saturated is the way everyone is selling the same thing inside the niche, okay? The claims are saturated, the angles are saturated, the offer is saturated, the landing page is saturated. Basically, everything people are doing in the niche can be saturated, but the niche itself cannot be saturated. The problem is still there, and if the problem is still there, there is still an opportunity, okay? I actually love saturated niches, and this is actually a mindset shift you need to have, because the more saturated niches, the easier it is to actually stand out. Let me actually give you a very, very simple example of this. Let's say right now in your niche, let's use brown because that is the color of shit, okay? Let's say everyone in your niche is basically like shit, okay? These are all your competitors right now, all these circles over here. This is all your competitors, and your market is literally just sitting here, and they're just seeing a bunch of shit. Like they're just seeing a sea of shit, a sea full of complete abysmally disgusting brands, okay, whatever. And you over here, you come and you change your color ever so slightly. You turn to a bit of a yellow. Look at that. You stand out, don't you? You stand out. Maybe what if you actually differentiate yourself so much that you're actually an orange? Look how much you stand out. It is so easy to stand out when there is so much shit in the market, because people are just tired. They are tired of what is currently going on. And if you can even make yourself a tiny bit different, then you'll stand out, and then you'll actually scale your brand. If your prospect is looking at a sea of the same boring ads, the same claims, the same promises, the same landing pages, the same offers, you don't need to be a genius to actually stand out. You just need to not look like everyone else. Sometimes people ask me, like, how do I stand out? How do I stand out? I'm like, okay, how do you not stand out? They're like, oh, probably just doing the same thing as everyone else. Okay, cool. And there's your answer. Don't do everything the same as everyone else. If everyone is blue, be red. If everyone is saying the same claims, say something different. If everyone is selling the same product, build a better offer. If everyone is speaking to the broad market, speak to a specific sub-avatar. The sea of sameness, right? In the sea of sameness, even being slightly different can create attention, okay? In the sea of blind men, the one-eyed man is king. Remember that, okay? Saturation usually just means sameness. When people say this niche is saturated, what they usually mean is everyone looks the same, or there's just so many people in the niche. It's usually just an excuse, okay? And that is a very different problem, okay? Because if everyone looks the same, you don't need to leave the market. You don't need to leave the market because there's so much competition. The more competition is, the more money there is in the market. Think about that. If you were the only person in your market, you might as well question, like, okay, does this market even have any money? Like, why am I the only person trying to do this? Usually something nice to ask. You need to differentiate. You need to ask, how can we actually make our offer better? How can we actually speak more to a specific sub-avatar? How can we introduce a unique mechanism? How can we connect to a deeper desire? How can we actually make our product feel different? And how can we actually make the buying experience feel different as well? How can we actually make what everyone else is saying how can we actually say that in a more believable way, right? How can we actually stop looking like every other brand in the feed? That is where the opportunity is, okay? The sea of shit example, I already gave you this example, but let me make it a little bit more vivid for you, right? Everyone looks the same, everyone smells the same, everyone feels the same, right? This is the sea of absolute shit. Now put a diamond in the middle of it. Of course it stands out, but honestly, you don't even need to be a fucking diamond, right? It could be a normal stone and it would literally stand out. Like this fucking sea of shit. Just imagine that. This is a sea of shit right over here. You don't need to be magical or anything. You can literally be a slightly different color and bang, you stand out. Look at that. You stand out so easily, and that is what I'm actually trying to communicate to you. You don't need to be an amazing marketer or something like that to actually stand out. It's honestly so much easier than you think, right? Because it is different from everything else around it. Just continuing on with my quote-unquote script over here, that is how saturated markets actually work. When everyone is saying the same thing, they're sounding the same, they're selling the same offer, you do not need to be 100 times better. You just need to actually look meaningfully different. The real problem is not actually saturation. Usually it's actually one of these. Your positioning looks like everyone else. You're basically saying the same thing every other competitor is saying. Your offer looks like everyone else. Your ad angles look like everyone else. Your audience is too broad or the exact same as everyone else, or your product feels replaceable. The customer sees your product and actually just basically thinks, I can probably just get this off Amazon, right? That is the actual issue. Now, how would I actually differentiate in a saturated market? This is where we actually get to moving some atoms, okay? You're actually going to get some actionables out of this video as well. So if we take on a client in a market where everyone just basically sells the same thing, then the goal is not to panic, right? First of all, the goal is separation. The first two levers we actually use is one, sub-avatar positioning, two is a stronger offer. So sub-avatar positioning, very, very simple. I've actually got a video on my channel as well. You could probably go watch if you actually go over here and you go to my channel, you find this thumbnail over here, 100K a day avatar, then you can actually go ahead and click that video. You can find some avatars, but essentially you find a specific group of people that the product can actually help, but that market is not speaking to, not getting actually spoken to properly, okay? Very similar to an underserved market. Yeah, that would be the right word for it, an underserved market. Instead of selling to the broad market, you can actually speak directly to a specific type of person. So not just protein for anyone who wants protein, it would be protein for busy mums who forget to feed themselves, right? It's a lot more personal. Focus supplements for gamers who mentally crash halfway through ranked sessions. Very, very fucking targeted. Ranked sessions, you know, it's a big deal for them. Not just sleep support for shift workers who get home exhausted but cannot actually mentally switch off. This is an angle I saw being used for blackout blinds, right? Literally blackout blinds that black out your entire room so you can actually sleep. Because in the day, if I like put my blinds down right now, it would still be quite light and I still can't get to bed, right? So that could be sleep support for shift workers who work night shifts. A stronger offer is always very simple, right? To make a better offer, I actually made a video on this as well. You can probably go watch that. The offer tweak that took this brand from 100K to $1 million a month. You can go watch that as well. If everyone is selling the same product, make your offer harder to compare. Add value around the product, improve the bundle, improve the bonuses, improve the guarantee, improve the shipping, improve the first user experience, and add something competitors are too lazy to actually deliver on. Make an amazing guide, right? Make it a nice flashy guide. Maybe go source something and tell your 3PL to go fulfill on that as well, right? A stronger offer makes the product feel less replaceable, plus it lets you actually charge higher as well, which makes you automatically stand out. And saturation is usually just market sophistication. When people say their niche is saturated, they usually just talk about market sophistication. So the market has already heard some basic claims, they've already seen the basic promises, they've already been pitched the basic mechanisms. The answer is not just the market is dead, the answer is what stage of sophistication am I actually at? What stage of sophistication is my market in? And what move does that stage actually require? So now we're going to get to the diagnosing, and I'm going to give you solutions for those stages as well. You kind of have to self-diagnose, but most of you are actually going to be in stage 3 to 5, probably stage 4 and 5, to be honest, for most of you watching this, especially in the health and wellness space, but you can self-diagnose as well. And every single section is going to have a specific move you can make as well. So stage 1. In stage 1, you are the first to the market. This is very, very rare, right? Most people watching this are probably not in a stage 1 market, but if you are, the move is very, very simple. You just have to make the direct claim. If the market has never heard of your solution before, you don't need to get fancy. You can just say what it does. Like, for example, this helps you sleep better. It's like the example I actually gave in one of my last videos, which was when Elon Musk successfully makes a way for us to go to Mars, if someone goes to Mars, if someone, sorry, wants to go to Mars, all Elon has to do, or all his marketing has to be, is literally like, want to go to Mars? Click the link below. And people would click the link below because they don't care how it works. They don't care how fast they get there. They just want the thing, right? Super simple. First to the market. This helps you clear your skin. This helps you reduce your bloating. The market is not tied yet, so the simple claim can actually work. Stage 2 is bigger claim. This is where competitors have actually entered the market. Now the people have actually heard the basic claim, and this is what your competitors are doing as well. So you have to make a bigger, better, stronger claim. Instead of sleep better, you might say fall asleep 2 times faster. Instead of clear your skin, you might say clear stubborn acne in 30 days. The market still believes the claims, right? It's not completely just like not believing the claims, but the bigger promise is what is going to work over here. The bigger, better, faster promise, okay? Stage 3 is unique mechanism. This is where a lot of you are starting to actually come in as well. In stage 3, the market has heard too many claims. They are tired of bigger promises. They do not need any claims anymore. They actually need a unique mechanism. You have to actually lead with a unique mechanism. Now you need to actually explain why your product actually works differently, not just sleep better, and actually targets nighttime cortisol spikes that keep your brain switched on. Okay, so it's just a new mechanism, right? A new mechanism of actually delivering the result. It won't just be clear your skin. It can actually be supports the gut skin axis instead of stripping your skin barrier, right? I hope that makes sense. It's just unique mechanisms of actually solving your problem. The market actually wants to know how it works, and they need a reason to believe the actual claim you're making. They don't just believe empty claims. Stage 4. Now, a lot of you are actually going to be in stage 4 and 5. Stage 4 requires a better mechanism. In stage 4, even mechanisms are actually becoming common. Maybe the market has heard multiple brands actually explain why their method is different. So the move actually becomes make your mechanism feel bigger, better, more specific, and more believable. You need to actually position your version of the mechanism as more superior. Maybe it's more targeted, maybe it's more complete, faster acting, more natural, more specific for the sub-avatar. Think about that for a second. If there was, like, for example, just a marketing agency approaches you, okay? And then there's a marketing agency that is for health and wellness e-commerce brands, or maybe you own a supplement brand and there's literally a marketing agency for supplement brands. It's just more targeted, right? More specific to the avatar, like I said. More supported by proof, easier to use, better suited to their lifestyle. The mechanism still matters, but now it needs to feel stronger than the other mechanisms in the market. And the stage 5 is identification with a new desire. So in a stage 5 market, where most of you are right now, the market is not tired of everything. They do not believe the claims. They are tired of the mechanisms, and everything feels the same. Okay, this is where you need to actually stop only selling the product category and actually start creating a new frame. Some of the best moves here are lead with identification, connect to a bigger desire, create an experience, or invent or reframe a mechanism. Okay, so leading with a new identification basically means that you speak to a specific person. You make them feel like, okay, this is actually for me. Like for women who wake up hot, sticky, and annoyed, for gamers who lose focus halfway through ranked, for mums who feed everyone else but forget themselves. Connecting to an outside bigger desire is not just selling the product outcome, it's connecting to like a deeper life outcome. Not just sleep, but like better mornings, better mood, better work relationships, maybe even like getting more people to look at you while you're walking through the shopping mall, right? A lot of women have that desire. Not saying that all women do, some women do, and that's a desire we've sold to before as well. Creating an experience so your product actually feels like part of a ritual, part of a routine, an identity, or a lifestyle. And inventing or reframing a mechanism, if the market is tired of existing mechanisms, introduce a genuinely new, believable mechanism to actually understand the problem, and you can reset the market to a stage 3. This is when basically Groons comes in for weight loss and stuff, right? This is what Groons basically did. They had such a believable mechanism that they actually reset the market sophistication, but then again, they were basically in a very specific scenario, and you can't copy everything, but if you genuinely have a really good product, you can actually reset the stage of sophistication to stage 3. The point is, in stage 5, you usually need a new frame because the old frame is basically exhausted. Now, why saturated markets are actually easier to research. Another reason I really, really love saturated markets is because there is so much more data. If Elon Musk right now was doing research on how he could maybe target people who want to go to Mars or target all that, he would probably only find like 1 or 2 Reddit threads that actually maybe go through that. Maybe people fantasizing about it. When there are more competitors, there's more ads, there's more reviews, there's more there's more customer comments, there's landing pages, there's testimonials, complaints, Reddit threads, all this stuff where research just becomes so easy. In a completely new market, you have to figure that out from scratch. You maybe even have to go and just talk to people, but everything is online for you. But in a saturated market, literally everything's online for you. So the competitors are already testing. The market has already given you clues, and your job is literally just to find the gaps, okay? So what to actually look for in a saturated market? When researching a saturated market, look for the claims that everyone keeps repeating. So look for the stuff that everyone just keeps saying over and over again, and then just make sure you don't actually say that. Sometimes it's easier to try to not blend in than just trying to stand out, right? Just try not to blend in with everyone else and you will automatically stand out. Claims the market no longer believes, right? What are the claims that people in the market just do not believe anymore? And you can usually find this out in like Reddit threads and ad comments and everything. Bonuses everyone else is offering. So very simple, just go through your competitors, look at all the bonuses and stuff and say, okay, this market is heavy with these kind of bonuses, or maybe they're not selling any bonuses at all, right? Offers that all look the same, sub avatars nobody is speaking to. That is super, super undertapped. Right now we're working with a brand and we've just uncovered like these amazing sub avatars and we're going to fucking scale with them. It's going to be fucking amazing. But anyway, problems customers still complain about, bad competitor reviews, gaps in the product experience, mechanisms that are overused, mechanisms that could be reframed, emotional desires competitors are ignoring, trust gaps, offer gaps, proof gaps, education gaps. Saturated markets are literally full of clues, and all you have to do is actually research and you can find them, okay? Super, super simple strategy over here. A bit of action for you to take, not long to go, okay? Identify the sameness. What is everyone saying? What does every ad look like? What does every offer look like? What claim is everyone making? What mechanism is everyone using, okay? Find the stage of sophistication. What stage of sophistication is your market actually in? If you want to find that out and go a little bit more in depth and learn a little bit more about how a brand is literally scaling to $72 million a year with only 8 ads, with literally using positioning from the stages of sophistication, you should probably watch this video over here. It's only a 20-minute video and you can literally find this on my channel. There is a special figure right there that you probably know, and there's Ice Cube. So you can go and identify that. And then, is the market tired of claims? Are they tired of mechanisms? Are they skeptical? Do they need a bigger claim, better mechanism, new mechanism, or they completely new frame, okay? Pick your differentiation lever. So you can differentiate through sub-avatars, offers, mechanism, proof, experience, branding, story, funnel, creative format, deeper desire. Pick the differentiation lever, how you're actually going to differentiate yourself, or just try not to blend in. Super simple, both work. Make the customer feel like you are different. So, okay, you just have to make the customer not feel like you're the same as everyone else. Usually we can achieve everything through its opposite. So if you're just trying to stand out, just try not to blend in. It'll be very simple to stand out. And the final takeaway over here is that saturated niches are not dead niches. Saturated niches usually just mean a market where everyone has become lazy and started saying the same thing, okay? The problem is still there, demand is still there, the customers are still buying. The question is not, is this niche too saturated? The question is, how do we stop looking like everyone else? Because in the sea of sameness, in a sea of shit, the diamonds stand out, the stones stand out, anything that is not shit will stand out. So it's pretty easy, all right? And that is a paradigm shift that I want you to have. Start seeing saturated markets as like an opportunity to really just fucking take over and stand out, because it is as easy as that. It just takes some hard work, but it's pretty easy, right? You got this. Anyway, if you are a health and wellness e-commerce brand doing 6 figures a month, struggling to scale to 7-figure months without going unprofitable, and you've tried a lot of shit, you've tried maybe product seeding, you've tried UGC, you've tried so much stuff, you just can't seem to actually scale past a sort of barrier that you've actually hit right now, then you might want to click the first link in the description. It's not a course, it's not some webinar, it's not some free training that's going to bait you into booking a call. I'm just going to be completely honest, it's a video that you're going to watch, and then after that, you're going to feel compelled to actually book in a call with us if it's relevant for you, right? Then you should probably just click the first link in the description if you do want to watch that video. And complete transparency, it is designed to sell you something, so I'm just not going to pretend like it's not. It is designed to sell you something. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to click it. Don't really care if you do or not. But yeah, probably like the video if you like this video, because then YouTube will show you more videos like this. Comment, opinions, suggestions, everything you got, tell me. Super open to hearing everything. If you want to tell me to piss off, tell me to piss off as well. Super open to it, open to some constructive feedback. And yeah, chances are we're never going to see each other again. So if you want to subscribe, you should probably do it now, because otherwise we're probably never going to see each other again. But anyway, I'll speak to you very soon.